Live from the granddaddy of all stock car facilities, Darlington Raceway, we present flag-to-flag coverage of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Mark III Vans 200. It is a beautiful day here in central South Carolina. Weather mid-60s, just a minimal chance of rain, about 10%, absolute perfect racing conditions. Hello everyone, I'm Jerry Punch, and what an uncharacteristic beginning to the 1995 Busch Series season. Not only have the Winston Cup veterans not dominated the early events, they have yet to win. Take a look. All 5 events thus far have been swept by Busch Series regulars. Chad Little, the first 2, Kenny Wallace at Richmond. You saw Johnny Benson at Atlanta, and of course last week, last year's champion, David Green. But that string of Busch Series wins could come to a screeching halt here today. In fact, this track tends to favor experience. In 24 previous events, 21 different times the winner has been an experienced Winston Cup regular. Of course, talking about experience, who better to comment on that than our own pair of Darlington experts? Here's Benny Parsons and Ned Jarrett.
Jerry, those newcomers just might not win today. I always felt like it took about 6 races before a driver really feels comfortable at Darlington. I know it took me at least 3 years where I felt like I knew what I was doing at Darlington. Ned, did you take this racetrack like a duck to water?
No, I never did get used to it, Benny. In fact, I usually would ride around for about 30 minutes each time I'd come here just to get my nerve up. I'd tell the crew, you know, that I was just getting the tires seated in and getting my seat belts hooked up, but I really was just getting my nerve up to go into the turn. And that's part of the experience here, is to how to go into these turns and how fast you can really go into them, because each turn is distinctly different. If you go into turn 1 the same way you go into turn 3, you're liable to be into the wall.
And Ned and folks, today we've got even something different, a brand new racetrack, really.
Yeah, and so that is a new challenge for every driver in the field today, but we got a couple of guys down on pit road who have some experience here on this new pavement, Kyle Petty and Michael Waltrip.
Ned, I've heard you guys talk about how tight this place was when you first started coming here back in the 20s or 30s. It's still the same place. It's still very tight. The pavement hasn't changed any. The guy that paved this place, he didn't widen the groove any. We're running almost 170 miles an hour here now, and there just simply isn't any margin for error. We've seen some great race car drivers have contact with the outside wall during practice leading up to the event, so could be an exciting race, huh, Kyle?
It looks to be exciting. Now, we know it wasn't the 20s and 30s because we know you didn't get your license until the early 40s. But anyhow, this is a tough little racetrack. It's slick. They've repaved it. It makes no difference to me. I hate this place. I can't get around it. Experience means nothing to me. I'm waiting for them to fill this place up with water, and let's have a bass tournament here someday. Kernan?
I don't know about going fishing here at Darlington, Kyle, but I do know that Tim Fiedel hooked the big one yesterday. His 6th race here at this racetrack comes away with the pole. But a little bit of inexperience might have cost him a front row pit stall. You guys are pitting on the back, Tim. What happened?
Well, usually I do the picking of the pits, and yesterday after we won the pole, we got carted over here to the front stretch for some awards, and you know, our crew just kind of forgot about they were getting ready for last practice session, but you know, we learned a pretty good lesson. It won't happen again. We're just happy to be here, and we'll still have a good run. We pitted there last year and on the back stretch and still finished 7th, so we can do it from here.
Well, the work's cut out for them, but they are confident that they can come through with a good finish today, Jerry.
And, John, when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the other surprises in qualifying as we look at our starting lineup and have the green flag for 200 miles of racing action here at the track Too Tough to Tame. Back in a moment.
Hey, I'm not home. Just leave a message.
Tommy, the hot tub's getting cold. Where are you?
Yo, Tom, we're shooting pool. You coming or what?
Thomas, your birthday dinner's in the oven. Everyone's waiting. Tommy, if you're there, pick up. Tommy?
With one of the most powerful standard engines in its class, the 95 Nissan truck can take you here, or here, or here. In fact, with rear ABS and a value truck package that includes air, AM/FM cassette, and a chrome step bumper, all for over $1,600 less than a comparable Toyota, the only place the Nissan truck won't take you is here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, an oil made just for your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-roading. Extreme temperatures. towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get 4x4 from Quaker State.
Now, an independent test proved 4x4 superior to leading conventional car oils in protecting against deposits that can shorten engine life.
So when I turn the key, it sounds like my starter is going bad. And so I figured since I heard about AutoZone, it was as good a place to try as any, right? But get this. I go in there to buy a starter. The guy tells me we need to test my old one first just to make sure that's not the problem. It turns out that it's a solenoid switch. That one little test saved me a big headache. You know, that AutoZone's all right. And when you get service like that, I mean, you don't forget it.
Our Speed World coverage of the Mark III Vans 200 is being brought to you by Nissan. It's time to expect more from a car. By Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Quaker State 4x4 Motor Oil, the intelligent oil for hard-working engines. And from high above Darlington Raceway, the Family Channel blimp shot of this beautiful facility, 1.366-mile oval. Front stretch and back stretch equal 1,228 feet, and the banking a little bit different, 25 degrees in turns 1 and 2, and down to 23 in turns 3 and 4. Race analysis.
147 laps. Pole speed today, a new record for the Busch cars, 162.905. The race record is 137 miles an hour, just tick over. Pit window somewhere 65, 70 laps. Someone might even try to go halfway and make it on one stop. And the first, almost $270,000.
And let's take a look at our Suzuki starting lineup. And what a day it was yesterday in qualifying for the 27-year-old pole sitter, Tim Fiedel. Well, he will lead him down. But as you heard John Curtin say, guys, he doesn't get the pit in the best possible spot.
No, I tell you what, it's just a kiss of death having to pit on the back straightaway. But he might be able to come back from there.
And the fact that they won't have to make many pit stops, maybe only one pit stop here, so it might not hurt him as bad as it could.
And our Suzuki starting lineup here, 42 cars will start it, and he's mentioned Tim Fiedel, and there's Chad Little, who's already won twice in 5 starts this year. They will lead him off in the front row.
There's Steve Grisman, row 2, alongside Mark Martin. He has to be the favorite today.
As you look at our starting lineup, you know, we might mention that some surprises, some of the Winston Cup veterans you talked about who have a lot of experience here didn't qualify as well as they would have liked. Morgan Shepherd will start in row 5.
We saw Jeff Green, a great run for him in Dale Earnhardt's Busch Grand National car. Ed Berrier has replaced Joe Bessie in the 97 car. Patty Moise, a good run back in row 16.
Bobby Hiller running this series regular this year, back in the pack. Phil Parsons, Mike Wallace. There's a couple of drivers that we should see come up through the field.
Rick Wilson, back in Busch Grand National racing. Oh, Jeff Fuller, the modified driver. And there's the winner of Atlanta, Johnny Benson, all the way back in row 13.
Limited practice allowed yesterday for some of the Busch competitors. You might wonder why some of these drivers who are better on the speedways didn't get a good qualifying run. It's because they didn't get a lot of time on the racetrack.
Tracy Leslie, saw him just a moment ago. He told me last night he blew a power steering hose yesterday and destroyed a car. Hit the wall here. And then someone told me that yesterday there was like 15 cars wrecked yesterday, both Busch and Winston Cup cars, but probably about 10 Busch Grand National cars made contact with the wall yesterday.
Well, there were a lot of spins, there was no doubt about it, and you might wonder, well, with the new pavement, the cars are sticking better, why would they have that problem? My opinion is that they're running so fast through the turns, and when they get up each of these turns, coming off turn 2 and 4, that wall comes up in a hurry, and you cut that steering wheel, and all of a sudden, you're out of control.
Talking about inexperience, 24 drivers in today's field have 6 or less Darlington starts, and Benny that talks about what you mentioned in the open.
Yeah, I really feel like it takes 3 or 4 years to get to the point that you know anything about this racetrack and can really get around here with any kind of ease. And look, here's 5 guys that have never been here before, Ned.
Now, that's going to be an experience for them. They got something to look forward to. They've read all the stories about this place in the past and got that in their mind, and that helps.
We were scheduled to go green next time, but There's some debris on the racetrack that NASCAR has to pick up before we'll go green, so we will be one more lap under caution.
And why would there be debris? Well, you're riding along with a guy who just moments ago won the International Race of Champions Round 2, and that is Mark Martin. What a 50 days he's already had. He won it in a Dodge and now climbs aboard a Ford Thunderbird. He will be carrying one of our in-car cameras and roof cams today in that Winn-Dixie Ford out of the Jack Roush stable.
29 car, Steve Grissom alongside Mark.
And our second in-car camera is with Jeremy Mayfield, Goodlettsville, Tennessee driver in the Bobby Jones UAW Ford. And Mayfield had a pretty good qualifying run. He will start back in 12th spot outside of row 6.
Morgan Shepherd right in front of him.
And we see Nemechek driving up alongside in the 87 car in the rearview mirror. That's a great shot in the rearview mirror of Nemechek.
In the UAW Ford, today's field, 42 cars. Take a look at the 17 Fords, 2 Pontiacs, 23 Chevrolets, and 2 provisional starters.
Now this time, we can see the light is out atop the Pontiac pace car. We will be seeing the green flag as these cars come by, and Chad Little has been phenomenal this year in that 23 car, the car owned by Mark Rippon.
And Mark Martin was the fastest car yesterday and throughout practice most of the afternoon by almost a mile an hour over the field, but in qualifying he did not get the pole as Fedewa and Little along with Steve Grissom were able to better his time. Once again, 147 laps, 200 miles, the purse almost $270,000. Stop number 6 on a 26 event, $7.5 million Busch Series Tour. Glad to have you with us. John Kernan, Kyle Petty, Michael Waltrip, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, as this crowd comes to their feet, and we are set for green flag racing.
Getting in line, turn 3. They did.
This marks the 4th consecutive Busch Series race at the pole sitter has not led the first lap. How competitive is this series? Chad Little leads the first time by as we ride along once again with Mark Martin, who is back in 4th spot.
Steve Grissom directly in front of Mark. There's only been one race on this new pavement. The groove is very, very narrow for these guys.
Yeah, the Weston Cup drivers are hoping that this 200-mile race here this afternoon will wear a second groove in the track. However, there's never really been 2 distinct grooves on the Darlington Raceway.
A glimpse of David Green's car number 44, the Slim Jim car to the right side of your screen there, as he was able to try to make a move on the inside.
And we can see that Chad Little is pulled away from Fedewa just a tick as both Grissom and Mark Martin closes on the back of our pole sitter, Tim Fedewa. Here comes Mark on the inside, has a run and has the spot.
Boy, he got a good run off the third Ford, just drove right on around. Grissom didn't contest him. In fact, I'm not sure that he could do much contesting there.
Mark Martin is the only previous Busch Series winner in today's field. He's won 3 times at Darlington Raceway, including both events here a year ago.
Rick Wilson in the 75 car, the Food Country, alongside Bobby Hill, and then takes that spot away. That's about 19th spot. See Patty Moise, the Dial Purex car.
For Charlie Henderson. As you watch this pack back here, there's the Lipton T Chevrolet that won 2 weeks ago on ESPN in Atlanta. Johnny Benson, our point leader, and he is being shown back in 25th spot as they shuffle it up front.
Mark Martin alongside Fedewa, and they go in the corner, side by side, man. Hey, Fedewa's hanging out there on the outside.
They come awfully close together. He is hanging on the outside, but here comes Steve Grissom. Is he going to make it 3 wide? No, he knows that's not smart. Fedewa backs off. That's a smart thing to do. The driver on the inside going into turn 3 has the advantage. and Mark Martin took advantage of it and moved into second.
Now we can see if Mark Martin can chase down our leader, Chad Little.
Starting to say, looks like Little has put some distance on that pack, but now Martin begins to pull away, but he's got to make up between himself and the lead car of Chad Little. We're in the early laps here at Darlington in the Mark III Vans 200. Back with more in a moment.
Now, an oil made just for your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-roading, extreme temperatures, towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get 4x4 from Quaker State.
Now, an independent test proved 4x4 superior to leading conventional car oils in protecting against deposits that can shorten engine life.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick. Its no-nonsense formula never quits. It works and works. Protects all day, no matter what. Speed Stick for 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
By minute. This NHL season, it's all crunch time. So when they ice it, hook it, save it, stick it, stop it, play it, and score it, you'll need to know. NHL Tonight on ESPN2. News, features, and highlights. Sports Center for the hockey addicts. Tuesday through Saturday at 11:30 p.m. As the clock winds down, the season heats up on ESPN2.
Back at Darlington Raceway, our leader continues to be Chad Little, but he's got a mirror with an image that's getting bigger and bigger, and that is Mark Martin coming in the Ford.
And we can see the Mark has just simply pulled away from Tim Fiedler, the car he passed a few laps ago.
Yeah, once he got by Fiedler, he had clear sailing to Chad Little, who had built up about a 1.5 second lead, but now you can see the difference there. Ooh, this is going to cost Mark a little bit of time. LW Miller's car number 18 stays down on the low side, though, gives him plenty of running room.
But you're right, he caught it just at the worst spot. Now we see Jason Keller in the Budget Gourmet car. Folks, he went down in turn one and did everything but crash, and he saved the car. Great job. Watch this. Goes down the corner, he goes up, and sideways up the hill he goes, and didn't even get a Darlington stripe.
Lost a few positions, but other than that, everything was fine.
And there you see Jason Keller on the left side of your screen as we check in the pits with John Kernan.
Jerry, I just checked in with Jason Keller's pit, and they were breathing a sigh of relief. They thought he might have collected the wall. The problem with the car is that it's loose coming out of the turns, and we're hearing that from several drivers, including Terry Labonte, who's reported into his crew that his car is also very, very loose.
Got to wonder, guys, if the weather changed between yesterday and qualifying and today may have a lot to do with that.
Could have something to do with, but I would say more to do with it is that they, as you mentioned, they didn't get very much practice. And after qualifying, they only had, 30 minutes of practice. They had a couple of spins during that period of time, so they really didn't have many laps of practice to set the race cars up for the race.
Once the IROC race ran, and then they've had a number of incidents in that race today. International Racing Champion just completed, so there's some rubber on the racetrack from that. So a lot of these guys have to have their homework when they get a chance to make a pit stop.
As we see Chad Little going around the racetrack, John Tanner has parked the Caterpillar car, went in the back pits.
Now, Mark Martin had moved up on Chad Little, but now it looks like Chad is beginning to move away a little bit from Mark Martin. Mark had moved up there to about 0.6 of a second, but now he's straight.
There is the third place car, Fiedler, and Grissom is fourth. Fifth place car is Elton Sawyer, followed by David Greener, winner last week in Nashville. Elton Sawyer ran so well at Nashville last week, involved in an accident.
Not of his own making. He got caught up in a big scramble over there.
Of course, Elton getting a win last year in Busch Series competition at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, looking to get his first Speedway victory. as Davis Green begins to pull closer and closer.
Oh, and Morgan Shepherd almost hit the wall down in turn 1.
Well, he did, and there were 2 cars coming up behind him that were running side by side. That was Jeff Green
and Jeremy Mayfield, and we got a challenge up front as the car number 60 once again pulls. He was about 5 car lengths back a lap ago, and suddenly he just sort of sucked in the rear of Chad Little's car, and now he's maybe a car length and a half back.
Boy, about 3 laps ago, he was over a second behind.
I think that what happened is Chad Little caught a slower car. Probably Dale Williams, and as he went by him, it's just like Mark Martin a while ago, he caught him at the wrong spot, and Mark was able to make up all that distance.
You must be right, Benny, because now, though he's moving in on traffic, but he moved back away from Mark Martin by about 3 or 4 car lengths when he had a little open racetrack.
And there we see, here comes Mark trying to get on the inside. It's Kurt Chomerdine that went by just a moment ago. Kurt, one of the cars who made contact with the wall yesterday.
Now I know why you're watching these cars so much. They're both Fords, but they both have competing grocery stores on their hood.
Exactly.
Now I know why you're watching this battle. Up front, Chad Little is our leader, and Mark Martin runs in second spot as they go by Robbie Reiser's car number 17.
You're not implying that Benny goes to the grocery store.
Winn-Dixie, it's the beef people.
Take a look, Ned, to your left here.
Now, Mark Martin has more experience on this new pavement than any of these drivers out here because he ran in that IROC race and won it.
That IROC race, a 60-lap event, just concluded, and we mentioned that Mark won that race, and now he's trying to win the battle for first inside of Chad Little. They are door-to-door and nearly touched.
I thought he was going to make contact coming up that corner, didn't you, Ned?
Yeah, I believe Chad Little backed off. I think he saw it coming, too, that maybe Mark might slide up into him a little bit and said, hey, this is not going to be good. Better just back out of it. That was a smart move.
That's a move made by someone who's going to try to run a wall and win a championship. And here's a battle up for position. The 29 car. Steve Grissom trying to make a move inside the 55 of Tim Fedewa.
That's the spot for the third spot, and Grissom has position and takes it away. And Fedewa backed off very wisely.
I'm sure some of the Winston Cup drivers are looking very tentatively here this afternoon, including Kyle Petty and Michael Waltrip. Although in the pits, they might not be able to see all this passing that we're seeing here right now. But they were concerned. Were they going to be able to pass as fast as these cars are running on this new pavement here? But we're seeing that basically the same passing place up between turn 3 and 4 is where they've passed in the past, and it looks like they're being able to do it again now.
Now we see Grissom has caught Robbie Reiser at the worst possible spot, and we see what kind of run that Fedewa has on Grissom. But he's not able to make the pass.
That's our pole sitter, Tim Fedewa, the Duragloss Ford Thunderbird, Ray and Diane DeWitt on car. He is now being shown in the 4th position from high above in the Family Channel blimp. Beautiful day for racing here at Darlington Raceway. 126 laps remain in the Mark III Vans 200, and they squeeze up in turns 3 and 4. It is a tight racetrack, and the speeds certainly haven't helped it at all. There's the leaders, Mark Martin, 3 car lengths over Chad Little as they head for turn 1. Back with more exciting Busch Series racing action after this.
The other guys are worried about grid positions. The other guys are worried about track conditions. We just hope the engraver spells our names right. The GSXR 750W and new lighter 1100W.
Available at Granny's Motorsports, located at 2095 17th Street in Sarasota.
Looking for a great used car? Looking for a giant selection all in one place? The auto event you waited for is here. The giant Manatee Civic Center used car flea market in Bradenton. Hundreds of cars, over $3 million in terrific used car inventory. Cars, trucks, vans, imports, and domestics. A car for every budget, $400,000 to $50,000. Factory program vehicles, rental and lease returns, auction vehicles. You've never seen a better or easier way to buy your next used vehicle. Every car marked for immediate sale. No negotiation necessary. All trade-ins accepted. Instant, easy on the spot financing. The time to buy is now during the giant used car flea market. This weekend, Saturday 10 to 6, Sunday 11 to 5. Manatee Civic Center, Bradenton. Don't miss it.
Drive a point home. ESPN puts you in the best seat in the house. ESPN2 puts you in the driver's seat. Dual performance with all the options.
The NASCAR TransAl Financial 400.
2 live views tomorrow at 1 on ESPN and ESPN2.
Darlington Raceway. Our leader continues to be Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie Ford Thunderbird. And if you think you've seen Mark lead a few laps here at Darlington, you're right, Ned.
Well, Jerry, he just became the third driver to lead 500 laps here at Darlington. Well, guess who the other two are?
One's got to be Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt, and who else?
How about that?
And speaking of Dale Earnhardt, there's his race car with Jeff Green Ford. The young man has a mustache, wears sunglasses, looks a lot like Earnhardt. Doesn't quite drive like him yet, but he's getting there. The young man is running, where is he being shown right now? In 7th position.
Trying to catch Elton Sawyer. That's the 6th spot, and he's alongside Sawyer. And the 44 car, David Green, right in front as well. And they go in a corner side by side, and Jeff Green takes that spot away.
That's 4th through 7th spot right there you were looking at. And meanwhile, our leader just a moment ago coming out of turn 4. Take a look.
That's the 39 car, Tim Bender, comes off. He hits the apron. Mark hits the apron of the racetrack and almost got it out of shape.
But he's got clear sailing there in front of him at the moment, at least. But he's lapping these cars in a hurry. There's still 31 cars being shown on the lead lap.
And it's about 10 car lengths between Mark Martin, who you're riding with there in the Winn-Dixie roof cam of his Ford Thunderbird, back to Chad Little and his Harris Teeter Ford. And here is the Atlanta winner, Johnny Benson, last year's Rookie of the Year, making a move inside of Mike McLaughlin. And behind him is the Luxair efforts of Phil Parsons, and he will go by McLaughlin.
That's 17th, 18th, and 19th position that they're fighting for there. But Johnny Benson started back in 25th position, so he's moved up about 7 positions so far. And we have caution on the track. There's trouble up in turn 4.
Looks like Tim Bender has got in the wall in the 39 car. Yes.
And there's the Tim Bender machine.
Looks like the left front tire's flat. I guess he has spun. See, the roof flaps are up, so he has spun. And when he locked the brakes up, that's what made the tire go flat. See all these cars racing back to the line, trying to get those positions.
And the leader had taken the caution flag, so those cars were already beginning to slow down a little bit. What a tough week for Tim Bender. His crew chief and older brother Bob Bender had a heart attack on this past Tuesday. He was in a hospital in Sarasota, Florida. And on the same day, Tim's wife, Kathy, burst an appendix. Had to have emergency surgery. So she's in a hospital in Buffalo, New York. So,
and now he's hit the wall.
So I think I just forget this week and start over next week.
Mark Martin had his hand out the window, getting a little air. Cooling off just a little bit. Let's watch Ned to see what happened to Tim Bender.
Okay, it looks like he gets a little nudge as he starts off of turn 4.
Looks like Bobby Dotter in the 08 car might have made just it. And we see Bender go up, and you know, he did not hit the wall that hard.
No, maybe not at all. He did a good job. Maybe not too much damage done to his car. And here we'll watch Jeff Green come up on his brother David, makes a pass on the outside.
Wow.
And just about to run into Tim Bender.
And you got to believe the spotter on top of the tower here told Jeff Green, got to get low, and he made that hard left-hand turn with the steering wheel.
Once again, it looks like Bender made the pass and came up in front of.
Yeah. I'm not sure that Dotter hit him. Might not have touched him at all.
I think Dotter did a great job, not just ram him in the back. It looks like Bender was struggling with that race car. As you see now, Jeff Green and the others dive beneath him. But a moment ago, Bender nearly got our leader as he was coming by. You saw that near collision with Mark Martin off of turn 2. That brings out caution for the first time today here at Darlington. 30 laps complete of 147, which comprise the Mark III Vans 200. Mark Martin is being shown as our leader. Good crowd on hand as they enjoy sunshine and Busch Series action.
My folks are here. These Super 8 motel rooms are roomy.
At these prices, we'll never leave.
Super 8 motels, 1-800-800-8000. So affordable, so comfortable.
With one of the most powerful standard engines in its class, the 95 Nissan truck can take you here, or here, or here. In fact, with rear ABS and a value truck package that includes air, AM, FM cassette, and a chrome step bumper, all for over $1,600 less than a comparable Toyota, the only place the Nissan truck won't take you is here.
Oh, yeah.
Going home now.
You can compare the Suzuki RF to a lot of things. Another motorcycle isn't one of them.
Hey, Mom, I just got here. No, Super 8 isn't mad I'm late. I've got their VIP card. They'll hold my room and give me a 10% discount. What are you going to do for me?
With a VIP card, guarantee your room and save 10% at all Super 8s nationwide.
High atop Darlington Raceway, that shot courtesy of the Family Channel blimp, piloted today by Steve Kalinsky. See that building down in turn 1 we're focusing in on from the blimp? Well, that's where the spotters stand, on top of that building.
Yeah, they're up very high, too. Of course, they're trying to look out for any trouble for their drivers and try to give them a direction when we have a spin like we had just a moment ago, so they can try to tell them which direction to go.
Yeah, we see the 39 car of Tim Bender go in the corner. He goes up, and I don't know if he got a bump from Dada or not, but anyway, nevertheless, he did go around. Now the spotters are telling Jeff Green and all those cars, David Green behind him, spin in front of you, spin in front of you, go low, go low. And we see all the guys going down on the bottom.
And here's that pack as they were approaching the accident. They were in turn 3. You see him get on the brakes, and Jeff tries to avoid his brother. Now realizes, oops, I've made a mistake. I got to get low. He dives down beneath Bender, courtesy of that warning from the spotter, as Benny mentioned. And there are the spotters on top of the press box and in turn 1. And there's the view we're going to give you from the Family Channel blimp.
And that's basically what the spotters are seeing. They can see all the way around this Darlington Raceway.
And you'll be able to hear from them tomorrow as we simulcast our regular Trans-South event on ESPN1, but on ESPN2 you'll hear the spotters and watch it from the in-car cameras. Boy, if you get a picture in a picture, you don't want to miss that one. Or bring another TV into the room and watch both at the same time. Back to green flag racing today here in Darlington, South Carolina, and Mark Martin pulls away by a car length and a half out of turn 2.
And Jerry, we didn't see many pit stops. The leaders all stayed out there, and then just very, very few pit stops. The cars getting loose, and they might need to tighten them up, but they chose to stay out there for the track position.
Now we see Stevie Reeves going by, and here come our leaders.
Little smoke out of one car we've been reported as possibly the car number 50. That is the UAW Ford car. We have a roof cam, Jeremy Mayfield.
It's Hermie Sadler slow on the restart down in turns 1 and 2, and he's headed toward pit road in the DeWalt car. It acted like the thing just would not get up to speed, like an ignition problem, transmission jammed in gear. I don't know. Maybe.
It could have a flat tire.
Yeah, it could have a flat tire.
Didn't want to get up too much speed. Well, Herman, sort of like David Green, until David won at Nashville last weekend. Herman's off to sort of a bad start this year in the DeWalt car.
Just can't get a break. His best finish a 5th at Atlanta, but otherwise he has not had a top 10 finish in the other 4 events. Let's check in the Sadler pits with John Kernan.
Well, as they changed 4 tires, Herman apparently felt the vibration. He thought he might have equalized the tire or had a tire go down. They'll change all 4 tires, and Sadler pulls the way out onto the racetrack.
And there we see Mark Martin and Chad Little. These 2 cars look to be the class of the field as they drive away from the 3rd place car, who currently is Steve Grissom.
Now, Grissom is probably a good, maybe, what, 1.5 seconds dead to 2 seconds back. He's just coming out of turn 2 as you're riding along with the leader who's going down the backstretch and entering turn 3. So the spot of distance they're putting on Grissom, who has also put about 15 car lengths on the 4th place car of Tim Fedewa.
I thought just before the caution came out that Grissom might be gaining a little bit on the front runners, but it didn't take them long to pull away from him on this restart.
And these cars did not pit. Several cars did make pit stops, cars who were off 15th place all back on the field, but their leaders did not pit.
And the battle is brewing now for 4th position, but as you watch Steve Grissom's car. He is in third spot, currently trying to close in on the second place car of Chad Little. Let's check in once again on the Hermie Sadler situation. John?
Well, Jerry, Hermie Sadler should be on pit road very shortly. They're going to go behind the wall, try to fix the car. What the problem is that they've determined is he has broken the rear end of the car. So bad luck day again for Hermie Sadler.
There's a race for fourth place between Tim Fiedel with 55 and David Green, 44.
There you can see left of your screen, that's the battle for fourth and fifth. Now just behind him, that is Jeff Green. He is in sixth position driving the Goodwrench Chevrolet. So fourth, fifth, and sixth on your screen.
Now, I'm sure the fans are wondering, well, how is Jeff Green behind David Green when we saw when that wreck took place up there that he pulled up on the outside of? He backed off before he got to the finish line and let his brother back ahead. He got in there a little bit harder than he meant to. Didn't realize what was going on. Maybe his spotter was a little bit slower than him or whatever the case was. Anyway, he backed off and let David get back to the start-finish line first.
Got to give a call to Tim Fiedel, who sat on the pole here, his first ever Busch Series pole. In fact, he started his first Busch race here in this event 3 years ago, but what a run he had in Atlanta.
I am very, very impressed. Ever see Larry Pearson in the 92 car, the Stanley 2 car?
I tell you, Benny, he's made a move up towards the front. He started 36 and what is now running in 16th position. Larry Pearson is on the move. Had a bad qualifying run, but that Stanley Tools Chevrolet is coming on now.
What a surprise. A Pearson running well at Darlington, huh?
Ryan Pemberton, the crew chief on this 92 car, his brother, Robin, the crew chief on Rusty Wallace's Winston car.
And Dad David is sitting down there behind pit wall in his passenger car, probably having to be smiling right now, watching his son make a march toward the front.
Well, David is here this weekend, so maybe he, after the qualifying run, maybe he got Larry to sit down and talk to him a little bit and say, now, here's the way you really get around this track. Doesn't matter whether it's got new pavement or not. Hermie Sadler takes his car back down pit road and hit it back onto the racetrack. As John Kernan reported, he went behind the wall for a few laps. Hermie is now about 5, he's going to be 6 laps down, it looks like, when he gets back out up to speed.
Ever see the teddy bear car of Kevin LePage racing with Larry Pearson?
16th and 17th.
And they have black flagged Jeremy Mayfield in the Bobby Jones car. We mentioned they had shown some smoke beneath that Ford Thunderbird, and they bring the UAW Ford car down pit road for consultation. The crew now taking a look under it, Bobby Jones and company.
This car was supposed to be driven this year by Paige Jones, Parnelli's son, who was injured in the race up at Eldora, I guess it was last year.
And here's the Goodwrench Chevrolet. What another surprise. This car running well at Darlington, and it's not Dale Earnhardt. It is Jeff Green. This young man has got this car on the move. He's passed his brother David Green, last year's series champion, for fifth position, and begins to make a move toward fourth.
One of the best races on the racetrack right now. These 3 cars. There's Tim Fiedel, the pole sitter, running in 4th position. Jeff Green wants to take that position away, and David Green just sit back there and watch him for a little bit.
Caution flag, caution flag. Oh, it looks like there may be debris on the racetrack. Well, right at the start-finish line, there's like a brake pad or something down there.
And our camera guys, what a shot, guys. Great pickup there. There's debris just prior to the start-finish line and some afterwards on the racetrack, and the NASCAR officials, having spotted all the way around, said, not going to take a chance. Speeds are too quick, too much on the line here with drivers and cars. We're going to put out the yellow flag for the second time today.
That kind of thing can cut a tire in a hurry, and if you hit it.
Now then, what do you think, Ned? 45 laps. Are we going to see pit stops?
Well, I don't think they can go the rest of the way.
No, that's true.
And so if they had only planned to make 1 pit stop, I don't know.
You know, halfway is 74 laps, and yesterday, surprisingly, to me, some of the guys like Mark Martin's team were saying they weren't getting very good gas mileage, even with the 9.5-to-1 compression V8.
Well, for some reason, the Jack Roush engines just do not get the fuel mileage that some other cars do, and that's one way he makes horsepower, I guess, is by pouring fuel to it. Let's see. The pace car is out. They will open pit road this time.
I believe that some of them will come.
I believe the leader will come as he peels off, as we say that on cue. Thank you, Mark, for listening to me. But I believe they will come down and not take a chance. That's one of the variables. They weren't sure exactly how far they could go on fuel, so they won't risk it. They will come down, and Kyle Petty is standing by the Mark Martin pit. Kyle?
But
At 33 laps, they weren't going to pit. At 44 laps, they decided they're going to pit. Mark radioed in and told him that he wanted 4 tires, a drink of water, and clean the grill. That other than that, the car was perfect. They've gone around, they've changed the right side tire. They use a lot of the Winston Cup guys on this team. So these guys are going to get in and get out quick. John Kernan?
Those guys have been among the fastest, even when they've competed here on pit road with the Winston Cup guys. It'll be a 4-tire change, no adjustments just yet. They're already working on the left side, and they will be out very, very shortly, guys.
I tell you, Steve Grissom has made an awfully good pit stop. He's not beat them all. And the car number 3, Jeff Green, made a good pit stop as well.
And Chad Little also beat the 60 car out. Michael Waltrip's on the back straightaway. Michael.
Tim Fido has brought his car to a stop. The crew's going to change all 4 tires. It'll be interesting to see just how much he gets penalized by the mistake of not picking his pit. He should be over on the front side with those other guys, and Jeff Green will take the lead as he goes by Grissom, Chad Little, Mark Martin, and others, and they're still changing tires on Fido's car. It'll be the second car off of the back straightaway and fall in line at about 5th or 6th. So costly move, not as bad as it might have been, but still costly nevertheless.
No pitting on the back stretch cost Speedo a spot or 2. Second caution flag of the day. Back with more from Darlington after this. Stay with us.
We could tell you that we've been in business for over 60 years, but is that what you really want to hear?
I don't think so. You want to know that you get the best deal possible. Cox sells more cars and trucks than almost anyone in the Southeast. Why? Because we work with the customer. If you're about to make an investment, you want to know you're getting a great deal. At Cox, we'll work with you, making sure you're satisfied. Now that's what you want to hear, because that's what it takes to sell cars, and that's what we do better than anyone else. Cox Chevy and Cox Geo. Come experience the Cox advantage. Looking for a great used car? Looking for a giant selection all in one place? The auto event you waited for is here. The Giant Manatee Civic Center Used Car Flea Market in Bradenton. Hundreds of cars, over $3 million in terrific used car inventory. Cars, trucks, vans, imports, and domestics. A car for every budget. $400 to $50,000. Factory program vehicles. Rental and lease returns. Auction vehicles. You've never seen a better or easier way to buy your next used vehicle. Every car marked for immediate sale. No negotiation necessary. All trade-ins accepted. Instant, easy, on the spot financing. The time to buy is now during the Giant Used Car Flea Market. This weekend, Saturday 10 to 6, Sunday 11 to 5. Manatee Civic Center, Bradenton. Don't miss it.
Extreme Games 101. Class begins tomorrow at 6:30 on ESPN2.
One day, 4 regional matchups to determine the Final 4. At 7:30, it's the Mid-East Final, followed by the Midwest Final at 9:30 and the Western Regional Final at midnight. Catch it all before it's all over on ESPN.
Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
At every racetrack, there's a lot of people behind the scenes you never meet. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a very special person, ticket manager Doris Mims. And Doris, how old were you when you started working here?
I was too young to open a can of beer. I could sell it, but I wasn't allowed to open it.
You could sell a can of beer, but you couldn't open it. And you've been working here full-time since when?
1967.
And they tell me you have never seen a full race here?
I've never seen a full race.
I mean, why didn't you go up and watch a race?
We were always busy doing the race. There's always something going on. You have to take care of your fans.
But you did walk up and watch a few laps.
I'd watch a few laps. I saw you go around a few times.
Ever see me wreck?
No.
Now, here's a very dedicated employee. Works all during the race. Never gets up to go watch the most exciting part. The 500 to 400 miles here at Darlington.
And that's a prime example why fans love coming to Darlington.
She's a real treat. And you know, her office is only, what, 100 yards from the start-finish line?
Right behind us.
Yeah, and yet you don't get to see it.
What a sweetheart. What a part of the heritage here of this racetrack. And this shot, this beautiful shot from high above this historic raceway, coming to you from the Family Channel blimp, part of its 1995 nationwide tour. There's a Family Channel blimp being piloted today by Steve Kulinski. What a gorgeous day for racing here, and you're getting some wonderful shots of competition courtesy of the fine folks at Family Channel. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jerry, here at Darlington in the years past, we've always talked about how abrasive the track has been to tires. It just flat wear the tread right off of them in about 40 laps. Well, 45 laps on these with this new pavement. The wear indicators, these tires aren't even halfway worn out just yet. So you're looking at these tires could actually run longer than the cars on the track could go on fuel.
And you see, we got Tim Bender caught in the middle of the sandwich there, and I don't think they're going to give him the green. Yeah, they did. They gave him the green.
Well, this could be exciting. Now Bender tries to get back out of the way as Mark Martin pulls away. That's Steve Grissom, I should say, pulls away.
Yeah, he got out the pits first. And that second car in line there is Ricky Craven in the DuPont Chevrolet. He lost a lap in the pits this time, so he was the big loser on all of this. And here's Mark Martin heading back towards the front. He was in 4th on the restart.
And he made contact with Bender up in 1 and 2 and almost spun out. Both cars almost went around. As there goes Labonte by Terry Labonte. Joe Nemechek.
Terry Labonte made a good pit stop. He was running about 10th, and now he's in 5th place.
And here's what happened to Mark Martin just a minute ago. He talked about Benny, said he had some contact.
He's on the apron of the racetrack and makes some contact with Bender. Just touched him, but almost enough.
They've been together before here today.
That's their second meeting. He hit about lap 20. Now this is lap 51, as you see Dennis Setzer going by Tim Bender. And here's Chad Little now moving in, trying to take position away from Jeff Green in the Goodrich Chevrolet.
Well, Chad's running 3rd, and Jeff Green is running 2nd. Jeff Green and Steve Grissom both had great pit stops. Mark Martin now.
And Chad Little knows, as he tries his best to get by Jeff Green, he needs to get by and get as much distance between him and Mark Martin as he can. He's got a great run. He's going to try to get inside, and he does it. Good move by Chad Little.
Well, that was a great move.
And we'll see if Green can get him back, but Little showing a lot of muscle in that Mike Egge motor. And it's seconds ago, the car number 39 almost created another problem. You watch his car squeeze by.
Oh, and we see jerked a bumper off the 08 car of Bobby Dotter as Dirk Stevens in the 64 car made contact with it. We can see the damage as the front bumper is jerked off.
Well, after a great run at Atlanta, what a tough week for Tim Bender. He's still trying to get some laps in, but he's getting past right now. Another car moving by. That's the 56 machine of Dale Williams out of Sacramento. We told you Jeremy Mayfield had some trouble. He is now behind pit wall with Michael Walters.
Today, what happened?
Well, you know, the UAW4 is running pretty good, start of the race, a little bit tight, and evidently we had a transmission seal or something go wrong, and made a short day for us.
Jeremy and I met a little early in Atlanta before the race was over. We got to stop doing this.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Mike made a comment earlier and said he bets I won't stop in front of him no more, and I don't think I will after last week.
Last week in the Winston Cup race, or 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, man, those guys. Jeremy spun out, and Michael comes along and hits him. Wham! And we see that Mark Martin has caught Jeff Green. Jeff Green in the black car with white number 3. Some guy told me the other day, that's not a black number 3. I said, well, really, you're right. It's a white number 3.
Yeah, the number itself there. Now, talking about losers on the pit stop, Tim Fiedel was heading on the backstretch. He was in 4th place when he came out in 9th place.
So he lost 5 spots, and you see that graphic there about effects of the back pits here at Darlington. You might wonder, those of you who saw the triple split saw that Mark Martin's pit stop, his 4-tire change took almost 30 seconds. That's why he lost his spots in the pits. They go around the LW Miller car. You're watching 3rd and 4th position on the in-car camera, I should say roof camera, from the Winn-Dixie Ford of Mark Martin. He follows Jeff Green.
There we see Hermie Sadler going down in the corner, slow. Both these guys able to get around Hermie with no problem. There we see Fiedler, Mike Wallace, and Bill Parsons.
Mike Wallace apparently just gone around Tim Fiedler.
Right behind him.
Oh, right behind, yeah, okay.
Uh-oh, Fiedler gets hung on the inside. Mike's got to run on the outside. Is he going to try to make this on the outside? I don't think so.
That is 9th, 10th, and 11th. The cars you're looking at there, the 55 Duragloss car of Tim Fiedler. Mike Wallace behind him in the car number 90, the Mirage car.
We'll see Hermie Sadler. And here goes Mark Martin by Jeff Green. Or he's trying to, missed. side by side, and it's stuck. Attaboy. But Jeff Green's got to learn that Earnhardt trick of diving back under when they go in turn 3. Now Martin set his sights on the front 2 cars. Right now he's third. He's third. Jeff Green is fourth.
A second and a half or 2 seconds up in front of him. Now Chad Little is trying to move around the lap car of Ricky Craven. He is between Steve Grissom, who is leading the race, and Ricky Craven. He lost the lap during that caution flag in the pits.
And trying his best to get it back. He just can't get up to get to Steve Grissom. But meanwhile, Chad Little, I think, is a little faster, but can't get by Ricky Craven.
And Craven knows that if Chad Little gets by him, that there's no chance he's going to get his back, and that's about to happen.
Man. To the inside, can't quite make it work. Now they're going to hug that bumper down the front stretch. That's first and second with the lap car of Craven in between. The 2 car, Ricky Craven now right behind. Chad Little gets a run at him. Can't make it work. Call back in. 61 laps in the books here at Darlington Raceway. In the Mark III Vans 200, Chad Little rides in second position. Our leader is Steve Grissom as his crew watches patiently from the pits. Back with more from Darlington in just a moment.
Now, an oil made just for your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-roading, extreme temperatures, towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get 4x4 from Quaker State.
Now, an independent test proved 4x4 superior to leading conventional car oils in protecting against deposits that can shorten engine life.
People ask me to endorse the strangest things. A green recliner? Not much of a sitter. I like going fast. 68 Shelby, and there's only about 300 and some odd made. This car rips. Pure oil now. Keeping them up's half the fun. They all get Pure Later filters. Pure oil later. I snag them from the track. Legends live. Pure Later. Pure Later.
They were the tires that created giants.
Been developed just for the 500.
That turned a cornfield into the greatest spectacle in racing. The tires that took home 48 checkered flags from the Indy 500. On May 28, 1995, Firestone will return to Indy to prove that yesterday isn't all we have to be proud of.
From Darlington to Talladega, through Daytona, Rockingham, and Watkins Glen. In every major NASCAR race, Busch Beer recognizes the pole winner with the Busch Pole Award. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, everyone follows the leader. Busch Beer, proud sponsor and official beer of NASCAR.
All right, guys, sing this one with some feeling. Do you know the way to San Jose? Come on, you guys, you gotta sing it. You know the words. Do you know the way to San Jose?
Back in Darlington, South Carolina, we are under caution for the 3rd time today due to an incident coming out of turn 4. In fact, on the front stretch. That's what's left of a Ford Thunderbird driven by Elton Sawyer. The driver, fortunately, has climbed out, and he was not a happy camper when he climbed out of that red carpet leasing car. Here moments ago is Sawyer getting out of the race car.
He hops out. He looks around to see who's going down the racetrack like he's trying to find someone. He goes over. Once again, he's looking, and he motions to someone.
Kyle Petty is with Elton Sawyer. Kyle?
Sorry about that. Elton, you were running pretty good. You've had a pretty decent year. You've run up front. You've run strong. This team has come together. You won a couple races last year, but what happened out there just then?
Well, we got a great race team here, Kyle. You know, the guys really worked hard and gave me a great automobile today. The
everything was good. We had a great pit stop, and I'm trying not to be angry. But, you know, it's unfortunate, you know. It's still the same Darlington. It's a brand new surface. It's awful fast, but it's the same Darlington. Hell, we hadn't run that many laps. We got 147 laps to go. We need to be patient, and we had a few guys who wasn't doing that.
That's Elton Sawyer. Like you said before, experience, you got to get it, and you don't get it in the garage area, and you don't get it at Darlington unless you're patient, guys.
And you see they're picking up what's left of that red carpet leasing car. The Brad Akins, Bob Sutton-owned machine. Danny Marshburn and company have a lot of work to do. Let's see if we can see what happens here. He gets a little help from behind.
Coming off the corner. And there we see him. And he is getting bumped from... I don't know. I don't know who that was.
Hard to tell.
He was racing along the positions that he was in with Johnny Benson. We saw Johnny go on by, so he was in front of him. And Rick Wilson also was right in that same group.
Well, Johnny Benson was just in on pit road. Nothing to do with what happened out on the racetrack, but it goes back to what happened on the last caution and the pit stop. They came in, changed left side tires because an air gun broke, and they were only able to change 3 tires on the car. So now they've changed the left side tires under caution, which means they've only got right sides left and under caution to change again. Now let's go to the backstretch and Michael Waltrip.
I just talked to Chris Carrier, Rick Wilson's crew chief, and he said Rick unfortunately barely got in the back of Elton, and you know, like Elton said, the speeds are running. It just takes a little tap. Rick said he was all over the brakes, just couldn't get quite checked up, and gave Elton a little nudge, and away he went.
Well, I guess the mystery has been solved. Just a little bit of bump from the 75 car. Rick Wilson set the 30 car in the wall. Hard, Jerry.
And we continue under caution for the 3rd time today. Back with more from Darlington.
With one of the most powerful standard engines in its class, the 95 Nissan truck can take you here, or here, or here. In fact, with rear ABS and a value truck package that includes air, AM, FM, cassette, and a chrome step bumper, all for over $1,600 less than a comparable Toyota, the only place the Nissan truck won't take you is here.
Oh, yeah.
So when I turn the key, it sounds like my starter is going bad. And so I figured since I heard about AutoZone, it was as good a place to try as any, right? But get this. I go in there to buy a starter. The guy tells me we need to test my old one first just to make sure that's not the problem. It turns out that it's the solenoid switch. That one little test saved me a big headache. You know, that AutoZone's all right. And when you get service like that, I mean, you don't forget it.
Now, an oil made just for your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-roading. Extreme temperatures. Towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get 4x4 from Quaker State.
Now, an independent test proved 4x4 superior to leading conventional car oils in protecting against deposits that can shorten engine life.
Back at Darlington Raceway, a lot of racing action yet to come your way here this afternoon. But what about tomorrow? An in-car simulcast of the Trans-South Financial 400. We'll have live coverage here on ESPN 1 tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. But we're going to be simultaneously broadcasting from in-car camera coverage on the Deuce.
And we'll be able to hear radio communication with 4 cars tomorrow on the Deuce. And I guess we can do it on ESPN 1 as well.
Right.
Really,
we can talk to... We have 7 in-car cameras you can watch on the Deuce. We're going to be able to talk to 4 different drivers on their radios. Morgan Shepherd, Darrell Waltrip, Michael Waltrip, and Ricky Rudd. And we'll be on at 12:30, Ned, with a special half-hour show.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. We've got that much time for a change to really tell about what's going on here at Darlington, meet a lot of the personalities and all of that. That sounds exciting, guys, all that's going on. Can I get off and go on so I can watch all of that?
No. I can tell you that right now.
And we might mention that our normal host for the broadcast, Bob Jenkins, will be here, but Dave Despain, the host of NASCAR Today, will be joining us at 12:30 tomorrow as he will host that half-hour special. We're going to talk to some of the drivers and get their feelings about what's going to happen here at Darlington.
Now, let's see if Ricky Craven can get by Grissom and get that lap back.
There are 24 cars on the lead lap. Ricky Craven is in 25th position. On the outside here is the green flag waving. Boy, look at him come out of the pack back there. Keep him running over somebody, I guess.
Lap 71 of 147. We are 3 laps away from halfway here in this 200-mile Busch Series event.
And Ricky Craven did not get his lap back from Grissom. He, as a matter of fact, is behind Chad Little and Mark Lark right now. Never see Chad and Mark. Wow, this is closer than 3 abreast.
Hey, that won't work.
Mark is trying.
Yeah, they go 2 abreast, but that's about the extent of it. Mark does take over second.
And here's Morgan Shepherd's Cheerwine sponsored Ford, showing a lot of smoke. Shepherd had a lengthy pit stop earlier today. It looks like his day may come to a premature halt.
That's not Cheerwine coming out of there either.
No.
Looks like an engine problem. I thought at first he might have brushed the wall, but that's not the case. No, we see the engine erupt as he goes down in turn 1.
And boy, he gets it down
wow.
out of the way. Yeah, and a piece of something comes up off the track.
Looks like a yoke, a drive shaft or something came out of the car. Wow.
Meanwhile, back up front, it's Grissom, Martin, and Little. Chevrolet and 2 Fords with 75 to go here, and Martin is going to make a run at it.
And just crash up in between turns 3 and 4.
Dale Williams in the 56 car has backed it in the wall with the left side.
And we are told from some of the spotters he may have had a little bit of help. Michael Walter from the backstretch pitch. Michael, you were looking right at it.
My buddy Jeff Green there go down into turn 3. He was trying to work around that lap car, and he dove down low to go under him going in, and the lap car didn't see him, and they both went for the same piece of ground, and he turned the 56 around and got into the wall himself. The Goodwrench Chevrolet's going by right now. It doesn't look to be life-threatening, but it certainly takes away a great run that Jeff was having.
And fortunately, Dale Williams was able to climb out, and there's the damage Michael Walter was talking about a moment ago as Jeff Green running on the lead lap in 4th position, trying to go for a spot on the bottom of turn 3, and the lap car was there. They contacted. Now Green will have to bring that car down to Tony Urie and Company to try to get some work done on the Goodwrench Chevrolet. Here's a look at what happened.
We see that the contact that Michael was talking about has already happened, and Williams backs in the wall. And watch the 7 car go by. Wow! That is Stevie Reeves in the Clabber Girl car. It looked like he was running 50 miles an hour faster than the other car on the inside of it.
Here's another angle. He's already sideways. That's Dale Williams in car number 56. And Jeff Green gets his car slowed down. He doesn't know where Williams is going, so he's just going slow. And you see those other 2 cars down on the inside go by. And I'll tell you, to go by as fast as they did down on that flat, they did a good job of holding on. Well, we mentioned Morgan Shepherd right before this happened. He's in the pit area. Kyle Petty's with him.
Right before the caution came out, you barreled off into turn 1, and I stood up on pit wall because the thing blew up. A huge chunk of metal came up, and you were on the flat running pretty fast. What happened?
Well, I think it happened somewhere along about the flagman stand. I felt something hit my right front wheel, and the car jumped up in the air. And we come in here to look, and the front of the crankshaft just broke off. It sent the harmonic balancer out. Just a bad day for the Cheerwine Thunderbird. To start with, we had a left rear tire to equalize. Come in, the left rear was 44 pounds, and we didn't know what was going on there, and so we changed tires and started running a little bit, and then the mirror fell off in the car. Had to come in and tape it up. Just wasn't a good day for the Cheerwine Thunderbird.
That's bad for the rest of us because you probably got all your bad luck out of the way today waiting for the mark, guys.
Thank you.
That's Morgan Shepherd talking to Kyle Petty, and there is the car number 3. That's Jeff Green. He is behind the wall. The NASCAR folks felt they needed to come back there to get some work done. Let's go to John Kernan.
Well, the crew is working on Jeff Green's Goodwrench Chevrolet. The track bar is broken and also some body damage, and Jeff is just taking the window net down. And Jeff, a tough break for you out there. It looks like you were running really good.
Yeah, this is the best car I've ever had here, and a lot of racetracks, I tell you. We were just trying to ride around there, and just got kind of slow on that restart, and that lap car got in between me, but I was all the way up under him. I don't know how much more room, you know, he needed to give me, but I don't know. This Goodwin Chevrolet, I tell you, it's awesome. One of these days we're going to have a little luck. We're going to win one of these things. I thought we had one today, but we'll just have to wait till next week.
I tell you what, the way they ran, he ran in Michael Waltrip's car last year at Bristol. You got to look at this team for next week as being one of the favorites, but for right now, they're behind pit wall.
Well, we showed you the accident, the tail end of the accident. Take a look now from the Family Channel blend.
There we see Williams spinning up, and watch the 7 cars he goes by. That's Nemechek on the inside and Stevie Reeves in the middle, and both those guys able to get by. But watch all these cars going by Jeff Green. Man, there's a lot of cars out there missing that crash.
And Morgan Shepherd said, look at this.
Now, where did that wind up? That's off the racetrack.
Outside
the racetrack. That's where Cale Yarborough went over there back in 1965.
Exactly, almost the same spot identically.
And if Morgan's looking for a missing part, it's outside of turn 1 off of Morgan Shepherd's Cheerwine Ford Thunderbird. And there's a souvenir hunter right there. An exciting race fan, and 76 of 147 are complete. Back in a moment.
When you're done exploring the high points of these 95 Suzukis, make sure you check out the low points. 9.9% financing, 0 down on some of our best bikes. And another high point, you could win a Suzuki 4-door Sidekick or other prizes during our Customer Appreciation Day sweepstakes for a limited time. See your Suzuki motorcycle dealer now.
For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3 Power Plus and Power Premium were formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving, to give you smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks, and we think Power Plus and Power Premium will make quite an impression on you.
Add more life to your car! Take it to the star!
With one of the most powerful standard engines in its class, the 95 Nissan truck can take you here, or here, or here. In fact, with rear ABS and a value truck package that includes air, AM, FM cassette, and a chrome step bumper, all for over $1,600 less than a comparable Toyota, the only place the Nissan truck won't take you is here.
Oh, yeah. Today's Speed World coverage of the Mark III Vans 200 is being brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by NASCAR 94-year in review. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. And here again, take a look at the piece that's behind or beneath someone's rental car outside of turn 1. That's what came off the front of Morgan Shepherd's Cheerwine Ford. That's the harmonic balancer and part of the front pulley assembly off the crank.
And you wonder why that someone has to pick that up for a souvenir. Number one, it's extremely hot. Watch as the crankshaft, end of the crankshaft comes out of the car, hits the racetrack, and away it goes.
And Kyle Petty, you found some more debris.
Part of this is the harmonic balancer, or what's left of the harmonic balancer, that bolts to the front of the crank that keeps these things in balance and allows them to run at the high RPM. When this thing comes apart, then the crank goes wild inside that motor, and that's what happened. That's probably, you guys are seeing a huge piece go over the fence. This is a pretty daggum big piece when you're running 150 or 60 miles an hour. The only thing this thing's good for is another earring for me, guys.
Yeah, right.
John, down to you.
Well, Morgan Shepherd said his harmonic balancer came off, of course. Well, part of it ended up in Rodney Combs' car underneath the hood. This is their second stop on pit road. The first time they had to open up the hood, and it was stuck in the right front, part of the harmonic balancer off of Morgan Shepherd's car. But now they get the hood down, and Rodney Combs in the Hulkster Pontiac is ready to get back out there on the track.
Wow.
Boy, when Morgan blows one, he blows it, huh?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Was that the end of the crankshaft then that would have been down there?
The front end of the crankshaft.
Crowd on their feet, getting set for a restart. Great day and tremendous crowd on hand here at Darlington Raceway for Busch Series racing action. And Steve Crisholm in lap number 80 will lead him down and complete the caution flag.
Craven up there in car number 2, trying to get a lap back, but he starts on the outside. He's looking for competition. Those cars that are one lap or more down start on the outside on restarts, and most of the time the Brews are on the inside. So it's tough to jump out there and get back into this guy.
There's Terry Labonte in the car number 14. He is in 4th spot, but behind him a great run by Ed Barrier. His first Busch Series start this year, he is in 5th position.
And he just got that ride win this morning or last night or sometime.
A couple of days ago, Joe Besson tried to opting to get out of that car for a few events.
Meanwhile, Mark Martin put some pressure on Steve Grissom.
Our AutoZone Race recap, Steve Grissom, the leader, led 31 of 78 laps. There have been 4 lead changes, 4 caution flags for 20 laps in the average speed, 116 and change.
Oh, and look at that. Chad Little gets by Mark Martin. Takes over that 2nd spot. What a move by Little.
And both those cars have led. Grissom leading the most laps in our race. Robbie Reiser, Mayfield, Andy Belmont, Elton Sawyer, and Dale Williams, along with Morgan Shepherd, the latest to retire. Now here's a look again at what happened just a moment ago between Chad Little and Mark Martin.
They go into the 3rd corner, and we see Mark close up on the back of the 29 car. He had to back out of the gas, and Chad Little just came on there.
Yep, just slipped right under, made a great move. Timing was perfect, and moved up in 2nd place. So now he's battling for the lead, but Mark Martin wants 2nd back. Richard No Ring there.
We can see all the shuffling going on in the back as cars trying to get position.
And it looks like there's some cars a little bit higher now, so they, especially in turns 1 and 2, so they're beginning to get a little bit of another groove worked in. And there's a 3-car deal going in turn 3, and Larry Pearson's on the inside of the baby. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. That's Rick Wilson, the 75 car, Jason Keller, Dirk Stevens in the 64.
And that's in 14th, 15th, and 16th spot. Larry Pearson in the Stanley Pool Chevrolet, a 2-time series champion. Now another battle up toward the front.
Now we see Mike Wallace in the 90 car. That's Tim Fiedler at Olson at 55, and Phil Parsons in 99.
That's 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Lots of racing all around this racetrack. Lots of good battles going on for the top 12, 15 spots. Our leader continues to be Steve Grissom in the car number 29.
Oh, and there's Hermie Sadler slow on the inside as Grissom caught him. I thought maybe Chad Little could use that to get by, but he could not do it.
Here comes Mark Martin on the inside. He had a run on Chad Little, and he's going to make the pass.
Whoa! Last time we saw these cars together was those last 2 laps in Daytona as the Glamour Girl car erupted in smoke. That Chevrolet Lumina showing a lot of smoke from beneath it, and they will head to the garage area.
And caution is out.
I think it was because of the blown engine of the 7th car. He blew going in turn 3 just a moment ago and might have put some fluid down, so NASCAR wants to check the racetrack.
Now, will the leaders come in and get...
is Craven going to get a lap back again?
He might do it. I don't think the others, if he can pass Steve Grissom. He hasn't passed Steve Grissom yet. They're racing back to the flag, and let's see, is he going to be able to do it? No. He did get by Chad Little and Mark Martin.
Got to believe that Little and Martin both backed off to give Craven a shot at possibly getting his lap back, and that's sort of the rules. You see Carl Simmons there waving the caution flag for the 5th time today here at Darlington Raceway. And there's the car coming down pit road that produced the caution flag, the car number 7, the Ed Whitaker-owned Chevrolet of Stevie Reeves out of Speedway, Indiana. Glamour Girl sponsorship, apparently having an engine problem, and there's the leader. Car number 29, Chevrolet Monte Carlo, former series champion, Steve Grissom.
And Ned, I think that Grissom getting the experience today leading this race is going to do wonders for him tomorrow in the Winston Cup race.
Well, I would think so. It's got to be helpful to him, no doubt about it. Let's see. I don't think they're coming in. I thought they might want to make a pit stop, but they aren't.
Now here's what happened to the car number 75 at the tail end of this incident a moment ago.
It's Rick Wilson in the car number 75. Got up close to the wall.
But he didn't hit it. We don't think, anyway.
That car darting abruptly toward the outside retaining wall, but he was able to gather it back in and keep it out of the concrete. We're under caution once again here at Darlington. Back in a moment.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven. Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
The other guys are worried about grid positions. The other guys are worried about track conditions. We just hope the engraver spells our names right. The GSXR 750W and new lighter 1100W.
Available at Granny's Motorsports, located at 2095 17th Street in Sarasota.
On Monday, he said.
Dad, can we?
Not today, son. On Tuesday, he said.
Hello, Dad.
Gotta go. On Wednesday.
How about this weekend, Dad?
I'm sorry, son. I have plans.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, with you.
Come on, Dad. Take them to DeSoto Speedway to see the best racing around on the fastest short track. Every Saturday, racing starts at 7 p.m. at the place to be in 95, DeSoto Speedway.
The prom. There she was, adoring you, ignoring him, and you blew it. She went on to fame and fortune, and you, well, you know where you are. Don't blow it again. Huge things are happening right now, like March on ESPN2. You'll get great America's Cup coverage. And this Sunday at 1, a NASCAR in-car camera broadcast. This time, get what you want. ESPN2 in March. Contact your cable operator and demand ESPN2, or end up sad and alone.
Back with NASCAR action from Darlington, South Carolina. The Mark III Vance 200 continues under caution for the 5th time today. Lots of racing action to come your way tomorrow. The 1995 Formula One season takes the green flag at the Grand Prix of Brazil. Last year's champion, Michael Schumacher, who was 6th after first-round qualifying, back with a brand-new engine, a Renault engine. In 1995, we'll see all the action coming your way at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on ESPN.
And then, you know, you were shocked that some of the cars did not make pit stops. We did have some cars make pit stops. There's Larry Pearson made a pit stop. The 74 car, Benson's in there. Bill Parsons made a pit stop.
Yep, and I believe that's a good strategy. I don't know if these others are going to have to stop at one time or another. There's Bill Parsons coming out, so I personally believe it's good strategy. I don't know.
Michael Walter, what do you think? Is it good strategy?
Well, Benny, I've lost this race 2 times by caution flags coming out late. I rolled the dice just like those guys that are getting gas and fuel and tires right now are doing. They're betting there won't be another caution. They're going to look like heroes if there isn't, but if there is, it won't look so good. The car behind, the pit behind me, Kenneth Campbell, he's leading Doug Hebron's effort. They've been rolling the dice all day long. He took on 2 in the first pit stop, moved from his 32nd starting spot up to the top 10. Now he comes in and gets his 4 tires. He'll be set to go the rest of the way.
Well, you got to wonder. I talked to Mark Martin's crew yesterday. He said they, in the past, before the paving, their deal was to come in and put 4 on after 50 laps and to put 4 more on after 100 laps.
Yeah. But now that there isn't as much tire wear, as John Kernan pointed out after their first pit stops, the tires are not wearing as bad as they used to. Now, don't know how much of a difference there might be in lap speeds after you have run the 440 or 50 laps. That might make a big difference.
You see all the cars getting double abreast for a restart, but NASCAR has decided not to throw the green flag this lap.
And Elmo Langley will lead him once again on another lap under caution here at Darlington Raceway. 90 laps complete of 147, which make up the Mark III Vance 200. Back in a moment.
There's one thing that a racing engine and a street engine have in common. You want them both to last.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
To build a race engine that holds up, you have to use the best of everything, and Haviland does that job.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer. Good enough for Robert Yates. Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
Splitfire won a United States patent. It's clearly different, but is it really better? Some of the toughest judges in the nation conducted trials and published their verdicts. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. A 4.8% gain in mileage. Quicker in the quarter mile. There's nothing like a split fire. You'll get more power and more mileage guaranteed. You'll get it all for your money back.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick. Its no-nonsense formula never quits. It works and works. Protects all day, no matter what. Speed Stick for 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
By minute. For the upcoming Boston game, we've secretly switched one of Eric's sticks with one of our own. Let's see if he can tell the difference. Yes, it seems that he actually can tell the difference. He's a little disappointed, obviously. Perhaps we should have just...
Back at Darlington, lots of action tomorrow, starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time with NASCAR Today, hosted by Dave Despain. We'll all be here along with Bob Jenkins and Dave Despain, simulcasting ESPN and ESPN2. Then the Trans-South Financial 400 on ESPN and on ESPN2. We're going to have 7 in-car cameras, 4 drivers you can talk to on the radio, or we can talk to on the radio. And if you got a picture-in-a-picture or 2 TV sets, you won't want to miss it tomorrow. Tune both of them in to our coverage starting at 12:30.
And ESPN2.
Exactly.
And if you don't, call somebody.
There you go. The Deuce. We're back to green flag racing at Darlington. Grissom and company shuffle to turn 1.
Once again, Ricky Craven up on the outside simply could not get into that turn fast enough to get out in front of the leaders. Jeff Green has gone back out on the track. 17 laps down. Chevrolet, Ford, and Chevrolet. Grissom, Martin, Little, and Martin not wasting any time on the inside in turn 4.
Man, wow, the car is handling so good as he gets by Grissom and takes the lead. We see Chad Little right on the back of Steve Grissom's car.
Terry Labonte, the 5th car in line, here is in 4th position. And in 5th position, the car number 97, Ed Barrier. Great job here today. There he is, right on Terry Labonte's bumper.
That's a look at the lap car number 2. Craven, and then Labonte looking at the inside, the MW Windows Chevrolet. And Barrier making his first start at Busch competition in 1995.
Ricky Craven, I think this is his first start as well in 1995 in Busch Series competition. And he is a lap down during a pit stop on a caution flag.
Mark Martin, who won both the Busch Series events here in Darlington a year ago, back up front here with just over 50 laps remaining in this 200-mile Busch Series event.
And we see that Labonte's alongside Craven trying to get by the lap car, and he does succeed.
Barrier's going to try to move on the inside of Craven, but he couldn't quite make it off turn 4.
And Chad Little is taking over that 2nd spot from the 29 car, Steve Grissom. Chad Little has been very impressive this year, Ned. He and that entire team.
They really have. Of course, they have the 2 wins and finished 2nd last week in Nashville. And he just really has been competitive in every race.
And they were leading in Atlanta when they broke the roller out of 2 rocker arms, had engine problems. That's the only engine trouble I think they've had this year. They had a timing chain problem, I guess, at Richmond. But otherwise, they have been a factor with Mike Egge's engines in that car number 23.
And we see Labonte has called Grissom for that 3rd spot.
That's Jeff Green's Goodrich Chevrolet. They go by. Green's car damaged early on. There's the field summary. Your favorite driver, Martin, Little, Grissom, Labonte, and Barrier in the top 5.
Steve David Green, the winner last week, back in 10th. There, Phil Parsons, 15th, one of the drivers who made a pit stop. Is planning on going the rest of the way, and 60 laps should not be a problem because, as John Kernan reported, tire wear today is not nearly as severe as it was last year here at Darlington.
Robert Volpe and Larry Pearson, who pitted, are beginning to make their way back toward the top 10 with those fresh tires.
Ever see Pearson trying to get by Jeff Fuller. John Kernan, what have you got to say about Larry Pearson?
Benny, the reason Larry Pearson and his crew decided to go ahead and pit at that point, of course, they could go the distance on the field and on tires. It looks like we got a crash in turn one as the car hits the wall. But Larry Pearson's car has run the same on old tires as new tires as the pole sitter, Tim Fiedela. What a heartbreaker, Jerry.
Can you believe it? Fiedela was being shown in 8th position, and the car just leaped sideways going into turn one in that Duragloss Pro-Cal Ford Thunderbird. And yep, we're going to have to get some Bengay for old Carl Simmons waving that yellow flag with the right arm all afternoon for the 6th time.
I'm in Terry.
Here's what happened a moment ago to Fiedela.
He comes off the corner, and he and Jason Keller are 3 abreast as we've got the outside car, Kirk Shelmerdine, and he goes in and makes contact with Shelmerdine.
Yeah, there's no way you go into that turn at full speed 3 abreast, and we see what happens when you do.
Former ASA and ARTGO Rookie of the Year, runner-up in Rookie of the Year competition a couple of years ago to Hermie Sadler here in Busch, and he got his first pole in qualifying in Busch competition yesterday, but his day will come to a premature halt due to contact.
Okay, here come the leaders. Let's go to the pits and Kyle Petty.
God, I don't know why you're going to me right now. Anyhow, I guess Mark has radioed in and said his car's fine. And as you can see, he's found on the inside, he's passing them on the outside, he's passing them both ways. They were talking about just changing 2 tires here. They gave themselves enough room to change 4 if they need to, but they might try a little pit strategy here. Grissom and those guys, I can see them from where I'm at. They've changed right sides. They're going around to the left side. Mark's still working on his right side right now. He's going to change 4 tires. So I guess everybody's going to change 4 tires. Try to go the last, 30 or 40 laps, and it's going to come down. You can throw the pit strategy out the window. It's going to come down to the best handling car and the most motor in this thing, guys.
Let's go to John Kernan. John?
A lightning fast pit stop for Chad Little, 21.5 seconds, 4 tires. Now, Winston Cup, that doesn't sound very fast, but for these guys, they don't have that extra air gun to take the lug nuts off the left side. You've got 2 air wrenches. The guys who change the right side tires have to come and change the left side. 21.5 second 4 tire change for Chad Little. No adjustments. Terry Labonte also took on 4 tires. No adjustments for him.
And we'll show you the replay from our Family Channel blimp of this incident out in turn 1.
We can see them 3 abreast, Ned. That's not good.
Won't work going into that turn. There just isn't enough room, and Tim Fiedela in the middle of that sandwich gets bumped from each side, and around she goes.
And Fiedela is in the pits, and Michael Waltrip is there.
They've attacked the left side of this car, putting on brand new tires on the left side. Some of the crew surveying the damage under the hood, looking the car over. It's going to definitely take them out of the lead lap. It's just bent in too many places. One thing about this caution coming so soon after the caution before, the guys that stopped under that earlier caution and got 4 tires, they now have excellent track position with tires that aren't in any worse shape, really, than the guys that pitted just now. So you see guys like Phil Parsons, Larry Pearson, and those cars up front. When they throw the green flag, they're going to get a big jump on Chad and those guys, and without any more cautions, that pit strategy might just play a factor in this race.
And very good point, Michael Waltrip. There's the car number 99 being shown as our leader. That is Phil Parsons and the Bill Papillon Luxair Chevrolet. David Ipp preparing that car as we have a Parsons out front here at Darlington. Back with more in just a moment.
Ride with us.
With all the motor oils on the shelf, how do you know which one to choose? Some people even think they're all the same. Then why do you suppose one brand of motor oil is the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars and trucks? Which brand? Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And for extra engine protection, try Valvoline DuraBlend Synthetic Blend Motor Oil.
And the pace car pulls away. We're set for more green flag racing action, just completing the 6th caution flag of the day. It was spin up in turn 1 by our pole sitter, Tim Feedwell.
And we see Phil Parsons, Larry Pearson, also the Johnny Benson car. The cars that made the pit stops a moment ago are now leading, and they don't have to stop anymore. So track position, everything at this racetrack.
Johnny Benson, Jim Bound, what a great run he had at Atlanta. Those two cars hoping to be able to hang on and maybe get a top 5 finish or even a victory here in Darlington.
There's still 21 cars on the lead lap.
Caught back in heavy traffic.
Yes, they are. And as Michael Walter pointed out, Phil Parsons and Larry Pearson and those guys who pitted before have jumped out there and got themselves a good lead.
And we see Hebron in the 35 car. There's the leader, Phil Parsons. Second place car, Larry Pearson. Phil in the Luxair car. And Larry Pearson, the Stanley Tune. And the 74 car, the Lipton T car of Johnny Benson.
Running right behind them as they come off of turn 4 by that speed camera. And I'm sure he hadn't seen these guys all day. He's been up there trying to get a lap back from Mark Martin and Chad Little and Steve Grissom. Oh, here's a spin.
Patty Moise in the Purex car has come into heavy contact, and that is right where Elton Sawyer, who is Patty's husband, had contact about 45 laps ago. That car has come to rest. Doug Taylor on Ford Thunderbird against the inside, or right outside of the inside wall, as the leaders now come out of turn 4 for the caution flag. There's Phil Parsons and Larry Pearson.
And once again, Ricky Craven did not get his lap back. I was about to say that he felt maybe these cars he hadn't seen all day might have a better shot at it, but not today. We'll take a look at what happens here coming off of turn 4.
Patty Moise is caught on the outside, and she simply gets too high, looks like, and goes up and makes contact with the wall.
And it looks like she might have had a little help from behind by a car or two back there, as her car just abruptly, she may have bumped that wall, and as it came off, someone trying to stop couldn't get on the brakes and gave her a little spin. As the safety crews will go to Patty, and the rules are in NASCAR that if you're okay, you are to signify by putting the window net down, and that lets safety crews know you're okay, so they will come and pick up the race car. And just before that incident, we are told that Patty had a little problem with the car getting a little bit loose, so let's see if we can catch that.
Well, she's hung up on the outside. Once again, going in the third corner, and she's up on the outside, and this racetrack, again, very, very difficult, so she's still up there. All these cars going by on the inside. And once again, that's Tracy Leslie, I think, on the inside, and she goes up very, very high, and she might have made contact from behind, but she had to get out of the gas because she simply came off the corner way too high.
And a tough break for Doug Taylor's racing operation, the Dial Purex car.
I mean, I said that she came off way too high. I mean, she had no choice. The other cars had forced her up there. Kyle Petty?
Well, I'm sitting here with Patty Moise. You ended up, I'm going to give you points because you slid a little bit further. You slid a little bit further down the front stretch than Elton did, so I'm going to get you win for this one. But what happened out there?
Well, we kind of missed on the setup a little bit. Got a strut arm car here, and it's great at some of the tracks at Michigan and Atlanta. But I just really haven't figured out quite how to get it around these tracks where you got to brake and turn as well. So I'm sorry for the Dial and Purex people, and we'll go at it again next week.
She'll be back next week. You can count on it, guys.
And she manages a nice smile after a wild ride there in her Dial Purex Ford. Back with more Busch Series action from Darlington after this.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven.
Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Look, a MasterCard won't make you different or unique, okay? Actually, maybe it will. I mean, millions of people use MasterCard, but yours is meant for you and you alone. So if someone steals it, instead of worrying about people running around pretending to be you, call right away and cancel it, because after all, there's only one you. What's more, even if somebody does manage to charge stuff to you, you won't pay a cent, and we may even be able to get you a new card the next day. But just for you. Now, how's that for a useful card? MasterCard, it's more than a credit card, it's smart money.
With all the motor oils on the shelf, how do you know which one to choose? Some people even think they're all the same. Then why do you suppose one brand of motor oil is the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars and trucks? Which brand? Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And for extra engine protection, try Valvoline DuraBlend synthetic blend motor oil.
Finest drivers in the world's fastest cars compete tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern in the Grand Prix of Brazil. Formula One, the art of motor racing, only on ESPN.
Back at Darlington, South Carolina, 110 laps in the books, 37 remain. What a beautiful day, and you're getting a shot from high above Darlington Raceway, courtesy of the fine folks from the Family Channel blimp, today being piloted by Steve Kulinski. And they're the ones from Family Channel surveying this country, the 1995 nationwide tour dedicated to promoting the power of family. And that's why you're getting those beautiful shots of an outstanding day here at Darlington.
See, Darlington Raceway, this is the thing that's wrong with the raceway. See how much bigger the one end of the racetrack is than the other? It's shaped a great deal like an egg. This is 3 and 4 the cars are in now, much longer than 1 and 2.
And that's why it's impossible to get a chassis setup that works perfectly on both ends of the racetrack.
And the banking varies, 23 versus 25 degrees, and the one end versus the other end of the racetrack, so it all kinds of problems. But it's paved and it's pretty.
It's paved and it's very pretty and it's very treacherous and it's Darlington.
And Elton Sawyer said it is still Darlington. Back to green flag racing, and can Bill Parsons hang on? Lap 112 of 147, 35 to go.
Chad. Oh, some contact back there. There's 3 of them. And Mike Wallace gets in the wall hard, and Labonte spins up the racetrack.
Heavy contact by Mike Wallace. Terry Labonte trying to avoid it, comes down across the groove and slides up the track and slams the outside wall.
Kurt Schomerdine in the Big Johnson Chevy, trying to get going again after some heavy contact with the right front.
Boy, Don Beverly-owned car takes a lick, and there is Mike Wallace in the Duran Paints efforts.
Now, Kirk was one of those drivers that was in that 3 abreast deal going down into turn 1 a moment ago. We talked about Tim Fedowa, and Jason Keller was on the inside. I'm not sure we even talked about those 2 cars that was on the outside, because Fedowa was the one that spun in that other deal.
And there's Terry Labonte's NW Windows car. Let's again see if we can see what happened. Right side of your screen.
Well, there's Sherman up on the outside again, and the 2 of them come on the inside of him. Somebody tries to slow down, hits Mike Wallace. And then other cars coming in there, some of them no place to go. They see a lot of smoke, don't have a lot of racetrack, or at least not a lot of banked racetrack to come in there, but many of them get by. Anyway.
A little different angle looking at it from turn 3, back up the backstretch.
And once again, you'll see the cars start making contact. There's Labonte, right to the right side of the screen. We see him making contact with the 97 car of Ed Barrier. Then Labonte and Barrier got together. Barrier and then the 25 car of Schomerdine got together, and Schomerdine was able to get in the 90 car. That's who hit the 90 car, I think, to spin him.
He had a different angle from across the racetrack.
Okay, there we see. Yeah, I don't know. either the 14 or 97 might have hit the 90 car and spun him up in front of Shelmerdine.
Well, let's try to decide from above here from the Family Channel blimp. Look at it once again.
Okay, here we go.
And then we see... Yes,
97.
It is the 97 car. You're right, Ned, that made contact with Mike Wallace.
And poor Kirk Shelmerdine happened to be in the wrong place at the right time, and so did Terry Labonte. As those two cars are heavily damaged. Look at the Labonte car still spinning.
Hit this wall hard, right
there. Oh, my goodness. And Terry out of the car, fortunately, looks to be okay. Probably not exactly the most pleasant individual right now, considering what happened.
That's his car. That's his money that has got to fix this car, you see. So that's why he's a little upset, because he's got to spend all this money.
And look at the mark he put on the wall up there, and once again, concrete wins.
He said, now, let's see, a fender's $1,000, a hub and a spindle, that's another $400 or $500. The door skin, man, oh man, this is $3,000 or $4,000 I've spent here.
Let alone what I lost by probably getting a top 4 or 5 finish today.
And the guy said, are you okay? And he said, no, I'm not okay. I just spent about $4,000 or $5,000.
Okay, but fortunately he is okay physically, even though he may not be exactly as cool as he'd like to be under the collar. Caution for the 8th time today. Yes, I said 8 here at Darlington. Back in just a moment.
The other guys are worried about grid positions. The other guys are worried about track conditions. We just hope the engraver spells our names right. The GSXR 750W and new lighter 1100W.
Available at Granny's Motorsports, located at 2095 17th Street in Sarasota.
Action is the main attraction. Showing the fun. It's the Parts Plus Super Chevy Show at DeSoto Memorial Dragway, April 8th at 9. 8th Thundering 200-mile-per-hour Pro Mods. Awesome. Jet-powered buddy cars. It's the biggest all-Chevy event in the country. Plus, the BF Goodrich Tires Car Show. Customs rods a swapping. April 8th and 9th, DeSoto Memorial Dragway. The Parts Plus Super Chevy Show. Get discount coupons now at all Parts Plus stores.
Drive a point home. ESPN puts you in the best seat in the house. ESPN2 puts you in the driver's seat. Dual performance with all the options.
The NASCAR Trans-South Financial 400.
2 live views tomorrow at 1 on ESPN and ESPN2.
Today's Speed World coverage of the Mark III Vans 200 is being brought to you by Firestone, America's tire since 1900. And by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Well, you've heard of a Darlington stripe. Let me show you what one looks like in reverse form. There is the stripe along the concrete wall in turn 3 where these cars came to rest after this latest incident. And one of the cars that was involved, and possibly the car that may have nudged the initial cause, that is the car number 97 of Ed Berry. Take a look at the right side of his car as you take a look at exactly what happened.
But no, we really can't. Ed Berry is the one that finally hit the car 90. As we see him approaching the turn 3, he got squeezed in there. There wasn't a whole lot he could do. And we'll see him as he approached turn 3. He was on the inside. That was Ed Berry in the middle, and Terry Labonte on the inside, and Kirk Shelmerdine on the outside. And when Ed Berry tapped the car number 90 of Mike Wallace, it sent it right up in front of Shelmerdine.
And my apologies to Ed Berry. He couldn't make that car any smaller. He would have liked to have made it about half that wide. But unfortunately, he was crowded into a position and had nowhere to go. Under caution, back in a moment.
It's Racing Roundup. Welcome Phil Parsons, driver of the number 99 Luxair Chevrolet. Phil, ready for the big race?
Don't think I'm going. What? You know how hot it gets in that car.
Oh, sure, Phil, but you're,
comfortable right here at home with high-performance Luxair Central Air.
But what about your fans?
Fans? You don't need fans in a house with Luxair Central Air.
Thank you, Phil Parsons.
Folks, look in the yellow pages for your Luxair dealer or call 1-800-LUXAIR.
While you're in bed and sweetly dreaming, somebody's mama is making biscuits, made from scratch, hot and steaming, fresh from the kitchen at Hardee's.
Rise and shine, omelet lovers. The ultimate omelet biscuit at Hardee's has egg, crisp bacon, and 2 kinds of cheese. Right now, it's one of our daily breakfast biscuit specials, each just 99 cents.
Ultimate omelet, just 99 cents. Fresh from the kitchen at Hardee's.
Back at Darlington Raceway, 31 laps remain here. As they show, it'll be 30 this time by as they come out of turn 4. And they're waiting. They're still waving the caution flag. 1 to go will be under green next time by. Phil Parsons leads the race, and the man who has put this car together very effectively this year is standing by with John Kernan.
David, if you guys kind of rolled the dice there with that pit strategy, but Phil is out front. Can he hold back everybody else and win this thing?
Well, you know, the Fords are fast. The 60 car and the 23 car is pretty fast. If they get through the traffic and catch us, I don't think we can hold them off, but you know, you never know. You gotta, if you can catch them, you gotta pass them.
That's exactly what he told me just a few minutes ago. If you catch them, you still got to get around them.
Now, the Parsons wouldn't be hard to pass, would he, Benny?
Oh, no. No, sir.
Yeah, that guy used to work for you. David
Sure
Ift.
did. David Ift. I wouldn't use my favorite expression, but I better not. He might take offense to that.
He's a fun guy.
He is.
Good.
He's a great mechanic, and he told me, Benny told him everything he knows about how to attack a buffet. David Ift out of Lake Wiley, South Carolina, preparing the car that leads here at Darlington with less than 30 to go. It's the Luxair car owned by Bill Papke and Phil Parsons on the inside, trying to get his 3rd career Busch Series victory. Got one a year ago. Had a good run at Charlotte Motor Speedway last spring.
Now, that was in Phil's own car that he won at Charlotte with, and this year driving the Luxair car.
This is the Monte Carlo, the new Monte Carlo. He had this car in Atlanta. He said he just haven't figured out exactly how to adjust this car yet. He's leading the race right now, but he said he can make this car even better than it is now.
Well, it's Parsons, Pearson, and Benson, and they struggled in turn 1 somewhat with some lap traffic, that being the Ricky Craven car on the outside. Craven still trying to get a lap back. He is still being shown as the first car 1 lap down in 20th spot.
You see the red car back there, that's Tommy Houston. He's also out there.
He's in 21st position.
Bobby Hillen and Chad Little side by side down in turn 1. And Hillen will not give that spot up. That's 4th position. Here comes Chad on the inside.
That's 5th position.
Now he's going to try to dive under Hillen.
He's made that move several times today. Can he make it on Hillen? Nope, not this time.
And Hillen is right behind the 4th place car, the Lux-sponsored Chevrolet of Jim Bound. After having a great run in Atlanta, Bound once again being shown in the top 5. So Bound is 4th, Hillen is 5th. There is Chad Little in 6th spot.
And Little's alongside Hillen now. I think he has him down the back straight. I don't know. Look at Hillen. Oh, Chad Little down the back straightaway.
Wow, he's got some motor in that thing, too. Oh, and he slips up a little bit going into the turn. Let's see. He gets the nose up there, but is he going to be able to pull it off? Wow. Not good going into turn 1.
That's a great move by Little.
And look coming here, Mark Marshall right behind him in the car number 60. There comes the Winn-Dixie Ford, and Chad Little probably realizes that Mark is there, so I've got to get by him, and now he makes the pass out of turn 2.
You understand that the oil pump belt has come off of David Little's car, the Slim Jim Chevrolet, David Green's car, I should say, the Slim Jim Chevrolet.
There we can see 40 laps today have been run under the caution flag here at Darlington. And it's still, new pavement and all, man, it's still too tough to take.
Oh, yeah, they can't take that away from it.
Record for caution laps at this racetrack in Busch competition, 48, back in 1984. We're getting close.
There goes Chad Little by Jim Bound, takes another spot away.
That moves him up to 4th.
And here comes Mark Martin under Jim Bound. And he takes that spot away, puts Mark in 5th. And look at Nemechek. Gets a great run. He's alongside of Bobby Hillen.
I thought he was going to make it 3 abreast there again. We're fixing to have another wreck. But they didn't, and we didn't.
There's Doug Henron, right in the middle of the screen, the 35 car. Alongside the 59. Ooh, 59 car of Dennis Setzer, and Setzer runs in behind the 64 of Dirk Stevens and lets all those cars get by.
Now, Stevens is running in 21st position, and Setzer is running in 22nd position. They're a lap down.
Meanwhile, back up front, Bill Parsons sees that Larry Pearson is closing the interval.
He's getting a little bit closer. It was a great gamble that David F. Phil and all those guys made, also Larry Pearson and Ryan Pemberton. But there comes Pearson on the inside trying to take the top spot away. Can't do it.
Chad Little is 2 2/10 seconds behind Phil Parsons at Gainey. Little is running in 4th place.
How about this for famous names from the past? Parsons and Pearson, 1-2 here in Saturday afternoon Busch competition. Live coverage on ESPN, and you heard David F. say, catching him one thing, passing him is something else. 21 laps remain, and Phil Parsons trying to hold on and get his first win in 1995.
Keeping the car right on the bottom of the racetrack. Pearson comes off the corner awfully well.
You got to believe Phil is hungry. Excuse me, definitely Phil is hungry, but Larry Pearson has not been in victory lane for a long, long time.
1980.
It's been a long time. Of course, he was out for what, a year and a half, 2 years or something, and didn't race.
Mark Martins alongside Chad Little takes that spot away. That's 4th. And right in front of him is 3rd.
Johnny Benson running in 3rd place. Pearson trying to make a move again going into turn 1. Here's who runs this battle. Ooh, he's awfully close to Phil Parsons going into the turn.
Boy, Pearson had a move on the inside and backed out and tried to go high, and Phil Parsons is right in the middle of the racetrack. That's right where he needs to be, and Pearson still holds a 2nd spot.
I think Phil realizes that Larry Pearson is a little bit faster than he is up in 3 and 4, and he's trying to take that bottom lane away from him and force him to go to the outside.
Let's see if Pearson can make a run once again this time on the inside. He started to make a move, and no, he falls back, stays in line, and now maybe a half a car length to the inside. Pearson looks.
And look at Tommy Houston coming up there. Tommy's a lap down. And here comes Pearson. Is he have enough on the inside this time? Yes.
And Larry Pearson has taken the lead in the Stanley II Chevrolet.
As Pearson is now our leader, Phil Parsons in 2nd spot, but the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place cars are coming with less than 20 laps to go. Don't you dare go away. Back in a moment.
Excuse me? That's better. Excuse me? That's better. Excuse me? Excuse me. There's nothing better than a steak from Winn-Dixie.
They were the tires that created giants.
Been developed just for the 500.
That turned a cornfield into the greatest spectacle in racing. The tires that took home 48 checkered flags from the Indy 500. On May 28, 1995, Firestone will return to Indy to prove that yesterday isn't all we have to be proud of.
Back in Darlington, South Carolina, Larry Pearson driving the McMartin-owned Stanley II Chevrolet, showing the way here. But take a look who is coming. You're riding with Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie Ford, who tries to make a move inside of Johnny Benson.
Wow, that was so close. Mark got alongside, but Benson came down the hill. Mark wisely just eased out of the throttle.
Pearson had pulled away a little bit from Phil Parsons after he passed him, but now Phil is closing back in a little bit. We've got 5 cars, folks, that are running awfully close together. Any one of these 5 can win this race.
What happened was Pearson caught Hermie Sadler, a slower car coming off turn 4, had to back off the throttle and let all these other cars catch up. And here comes Mark trying to look on the inside aggressive because they have to be a little bit defensive.
Yeah, you got to drive offensively and defensively.
Now there's Pearson, and here's a move for a second spot as Johnny Benson moves to the inside of Bill Parsons, and now we'll see if Mark Martin can make his car stick. He will take the spot away. So from second to fifth, in about a quarter of a mile, Bill Parsons loses 3 spots.
But very wisely, let those guys go, and he is in fifth place. Phil's looking pretty good in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Point Series this year, so he needs a good finish.
Yeah, that was a smart move. He realized his car's not as fast as everyone else.
15 laps older. In fact, he's sitting back on lap 87, so he certainly is dealing with a little bit different deal. But so is Larry Pearson's time.
And Johnny Benson, they all stopped at the same time. Phil had to run very hard there. Could have abused his tires a little bit more maybe than the others.
And how about the rookie battle in Busch Series competition? That's a pass for 6 spots. Steve Grissom going by Joe Nemechek. Here's the order of the point standings, how they're running. Fuller, Curtis Markham, L.W. Miller, John Tanner, Tim Bender, and Dale Williams.
I think that just backs up what we said at the top of the show. It takes experience to get around this racetrack, a lot of experience. And Steve Grissom, he's been here several times. All these fellas have been at this racetrack several times.
And Larry Pearson continues to lead. Let's check in with John Curtis.
Jerry, you talked earlier about no one hungrier for a victory than Larry Pearson, not just overall, but at this track in particular. 13 races here. Larry has finished 91% of the possible laps that he could have run. He's compiled 2 top 5s, 8 top 10s, including a second-place finish behind Mark Martin in this race last year. They really like their chances today.
Well, they got the 10 to go last time by, John, and you know, this is where his dad David was so successful. 10 wins for David Pearson at this track, too tough to tame, and boy, wouldn't it be nice for David here being on hand to watch his son race and Larry to get his foot on the today.
And once again, they ran up behind that slower car of Jeff Green, and it's got those 4 cars nose to tail.
Boy, if you just have to lift just for a moment when you run up on another car, it just lets everybody close in so quickly.
18 cars still on the lead lap here with 9.
Oh, a crash down in turn 1. But he's still going. He has not spun completely. 47 car of Jeff Fuller hit the wall, but he kept going, and there's no caution.
8 to go as Pearson and the Stanley Zoo colors trying to hang on to get his first victory since 1988. That one in Bristol, Tennessee.
And there is a crash now.
Fuller's crash coming off turn 4 now, and this might be the race back to the win.
Here they come out of turn 4. Caution flag waving. Can Pearson hold them off as the caution will wait for the 9th time today, and Fuller gets his car refired. So if he gets the car moving, there's a chance we'll get back to green flag.
Oh, yeah, I think we'll get back to green flag, no question about it. It'll be a short caution, but this did increase Pearson's chances a little bit because it cuts down the number of laps that he'll have to hold them off.
There's Jeff Fuller, the Sunoco 260 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, 1992 modified NASCAR champion, 3-time most popular driver up there in the open wheel ranks. Lap 141, you see the damage on the Sunoco car.
Now, with just 6-7 laps to go in this other green flag, or maybe 5 laps, under NASCAR rules, we've seen these cars doubling up on the restarts. Under NASCAR rules, with less than 10 laps to go, they start the cars single file. And I think that's a very, very good rule.
Yeah, I agree.
All the cars on the lead lap will start nose to tail. And then the cars that are lapped down will start behind those cars.
So they don't have traffic to contend with.
So you got Larry Pearson, car behind him, bobbing back and forth. That's the car that won in Atlanta. Johnny Benson, last year's Rookie of the Year. Mark Martin has already won once today. Won that 60-lap International Race of Champions event. Round 2 of Iraq. He is back in 3rd spot.
Well, we know right now there will be no more than 4 laps of green, because when they come back the next time, there will be 5 laps to go, and they still haven't been given the 1-lap signal, so there will be no more than 4 laps of green, and I predict that's about the way it'll be. We'll see.
Take a look again at what happened here with Jeff Fuller's car.
Well, he'd hit the wall down in turn 1. We saw that just a moment ago. and evidently he knocked some sheet metal in on a tire. He blew the tire as he came off turn 4, and around he went. I'm assuming he blew. Is he going back in the wall? Yep, hit it pretty good. I'm assuming a tire went. Maybe a tire was going down. He did not blow a tire, but maybe a tire was going down.
Now, we all know Larry Pearson has been here a number of times, but if you're his dad, if you're David Pearson, you could talk to him on the radio, what would you tell him out there? Or would you say anything?
You wouldn't say anything. He knows what to do. I mean, Larry Pearson is a grown man, Jerry. He knows exactly what to do. Stay in front of that 74 car.
And keep the groove. You got to keep your groove that works best for his race car.
David would probably say win. And he did it 10 times here at Darlington. And, of course, Dale Earnhardt will be trying to tie that record in Winston Cup competition here tomorrow, which you'll be able to see on ESPN. Take a look at
1 to go.
And they get 1 to go. Top 15, Pearson, Benson, Martin, Little, Parsons, and Grissom in the top 6.
Nemechek, Hillen, Barrier, Keller, LePage, Kevin LePage, good run for him, Tracy Leslie, Doug Hevron, Rick Wilson, and Jim Bound. Also Mike McLaughlin and Rodney Cohn, both those cars still in the lead lap.
17 cars on the lead lap. Tommy Houston, who was running awfully well a moment ago, he is the first car a lap down, along with Dennis Setzer, and the car that just caused the incident a moment ago, or a car that cut a tire, we should say. That is Jeff Fuller. If you look back through 30th spot and now back through 42nd, the cars that have retired, including Terry Labonte and Mike Wallace, a horrendous incident in turn 3. For those of you just turning in, our rodeo will be following us. The Dodge National Finals, rodeo coming up next at the conclusion of our Mark III Vans 200. Glad to have you with us. Kyle Petty, Michael Waltrip, John Kernan, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you live flag-to-flag coverage from the track Too Tough to Tame.
And Pearson's he's got him coming awfully slow off of that turn. He sets the pace, and he must have some gearing in that thing that he wants to, that he can accelerate real quick.
That's right. They're very, very slow, an extremely slow start. He's going to nail the gas when he wants to. But you can see all these guys trying to anticipate, trying to be ready.
There he goes. He's got her to the floorboard now, but so do those others. He maybe gets a couple. Yeah, he's got 2 or 3 minutes. That's a good start.
It'll be 3 to go. 147 laps. It's the checkered flag.
What he did want going into that first turn was a car right on his back bumper that could take a little bit of air off the spoil and maybe make him a little bit loose. So he got into that first corner okay, but now Johnny Benson's closing in going into turn 3.
On top of, sorry, Jerry, on top of Martin's Winn-Dixie Ford.
3 to go.
Johnny Benson, Mark Martin, Chad Little, the top 4. Bill Parsons in 5th spot.
Hey, Pearson's getting through those corners good. He got through 1 and 2 extremely good. Here comes Mark Martin up on the inside of Benson trying to take over second. Can he do it? No, he had to back off, but that was a big advantage for Larry Pearson. He just drove away from him when they both had to back off.
It'll be 2 to go this time by. 2 to go, and you said it right. It's Pearson. Now, what's the differential between him and the second-place car? About 7 car lengths.
Best thing that could have happened to Larry Pearson, he looked up and said, do that one more time, guys, and this thing will be over. Might be anyway.
And a proud father, David Pearson, looking on somewhere here in this 1.366-mile facility. David's going to be smiling, saying, yeah, that's my boy out there. But Martin is trying once again to make a run for second.
And the white flag.
1 more lap, just 1 more. Marcus back 3 or 4 car lengths from the 74 car Benson. He's going to try to get a run, but I think he's too far back there to get a run.
I think he is too, Benny. If Pearson just rolls his groove through turns 3 and 4 like he's been doing, I don't think anybody can pass him.
Final lap for 41-year-old Larry Pearson, second-generation driver. And will a Pearson go to victory lane once again here at Darlington, you guys?
Yes.
Larry Pearson takes the victory, his first ever at Darlington Raceway. And Ryan Pemberton and the Mac Martin Stanley Tools crew, yeah, you got a right to celebrate. What an effort here today.
Man, I tell you what, and he did it. Kyle Petty, excitement down there, aren't you, buddy?
I'm sitting here with Ryan. He's doing, I tell you what, he's talking to 900 people all at the same time. Ryan. Yeah, you guys have run great all day. Hey, congratulations, man. I know you're about to cry. I can see it. Great. I know you went through a tough year last year. You've come out with these guys. It's been a long time for Larry too. What you guys gambled a little bit, and it paid off for you. Man, the lap traffic was unbelievably bad. We had a good car. We were 2/10 faster than right there in the middle of the race. We couldn't get to the front. I said, Dan, we're going to pit. We can make it from here. We're going to get our track position, get our tires. We run best on all tires, and that's what we did. Get out front and stayed out front. Congratulations, man.
Unbelievably, guys, Ned. I mean, he did it, and it wasn't easy.
No, it came from 36th position. So I tell you, that's impressive here at Darlington.
The one advantage he had, though, he's in the top 10 in Busch Grand National points. He was able to pick a front stretch pit, and the fact he started 36th, he was still able to pit on front stretch.
Take a look at the final results here, where your favorite driver finished. You said Pearson, Benson, Martin, Little, and Parsons in the top 5.
And Grissom, Nemechek, Hill, and LePage, we saw that, and we see the rest of the cars there as the top 30.
Houston and Setzer both finishing a lap down at 18th and 19th spot.
17 cars on the lead lap here at Darlington is pretty impressive. Good competition in this Busch Series.
I tell you what, this was a 200-mile race. Just think, Ned, tomorrow we've got twice as much excitement.
Right.
400 miles. Man, it was a great race.
And we're going to have it on 2 different networks, from in-car views as well as our normal ESPN1 coverage. And there is the 41-year-old driver headed to victory lane. They had to sort of give him a little map to try to find out how he got there. Larry Pearson gets his 14th career victory in Busch Series competition, but his first since 1988, that coming at Bristol, Tennessee. You got to wonder, somewhere David's got to be trying to get to victory lane, because I guarantee you he wants to congratulate son Larry.
I do. Larry, you did a great job, a terrific job.
Very impressive run as he pulls his helmet off, and John Kernan is there in victory lane.
Well, as Larry Pearson takes the helmet off, a really tough day waiting to get his hat. We've got a cold rag for him. Now he already had a hat in the car with him, and wipes his face off. Larry, congratulations. It's been a long time, and you finally got one here at Darlington.
Yeah, it's about time, huh? We won a lot of short tracks, but this is the first super speedway for me, and first win ever for Martin Motorsports and Stanley Tools. You know, they've been great for us. We picked up Associate Buzzsaw Apparel out of Charlotte, but you know, the Stanley people, they stood behind us the whole time. We've had some disappointments at the start of the year, but I knew things would come around.
Well, they certainly came around to a big time today. A victory for Larry Pearson. Jerry, we'll send it back up to you. It's getting very crowded down here, as you might imagine, in Victory Lane.
And you might imagine that they are celebrating down there. Remember, we opened a year. We saw Chad Little go from 42nd to 1st. How about Darlington from 36th to 1st? Larry Pearson gets his first win in almost, 6 years. A lot of action coming your way tomorrow. Live coverage at 12:30 p.m. NASCAR Today will be on ESPN and ESPN2. That followed by our live coverage of the Trans-South Financial 400. Once again, congratulations to Larry Pearson, and so long from Darlington.